On this Memorial Day, we salute the troops who gave their lives for our country. Today, loved ones gathered at a state veterans cemetery on the North Shore to pay their respects. Paul Murphy found several touching profiles of heroes who should never be forgotten.
The Southeast Louisiana Veterans Cemetery near Slidell is sacred ground. This is the final resting place for soldiers, Marines, airmen, and sailors who served our country in peacetime and in war. Ruth Anfari's husband, Arif Taslim Anfari, is buried here. She, along with their daughter, Tony Keeler, and family, spent part of Memorial Day visiting the gravesite.
My husband was a true veteran. He was in the Vietnam War. He served there, and he was very active with Veterans Affairs.
Wayne and Janie Perez's son, Lance Corporal Timothy Perez, died as a result of the post-traumatic stress he brought home from the battlefield. He served in the Persian Gulf.
And he absolutely loved the Marine Corps. It's like it was something he was made for. And he was following his older brother, Jeffrey, into the Marine Corps.
Janie Perez is also thinking about her first husband, who died in the Vietnam War in 1969.
It's a very special day. Our soldiers are always wonderful. Everybody's a hero.
For some, the Memorial Day weekend has become a time for backyard barbecues, trips to the beach, and holiday sales. But there's a lot more to it than that. Just ask the loved ones who were here at the Veterans Cemetery visiting their war heroes today.
This is Memorial Day. This is what we should be honoring.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the hot dogs and hamburgers, but these are the guys that we need to be honoring today.
Just celebrating our heroes and celebrating life, really. And just letting them know that we still love them even though they're not here.
To honor these veterans, not only my husband, but all veterans. I call them all heroes because after all, they protected our country at one time or another. I salute them, I really do.
And when taps came over the loudspeaker, everyone paused, saluted, and said a prayer. This in remembrance of those who sacrificed so much in defense of duty, honor, and country. Paul Murphy, Eyewitness News.